Good Monday morning. Well, we just finished up a beautiful 10-week Bible study, and I went straight from that to speak and on a Sunday morning, and so it had been an intense season of study and preparation. And last night I got home. I had to take a whirlwind of a trip, and I got home and Philly said something to me while we had just finished dinner about something he wanted us to do, and I started crying. And I've done this long enough to know that that's usually because I'm tired. And I have learned to pay attention. I talk about this often in Reclaiming Your Heart: small action, big reaction. Something's going on up in here, and I realize that I'm just tired. And that happens often when you've had a season of pouring out and giving out, whatever that may be like, whether you're a mom with small children or you've had a really hard season at work that's required a lot more of you, or you have a child in a challenging place and you're just having to pour out more of your energy and emotion to that child. And so we can just have moments where we're tired. And I go back to that story in 1 Kings 19, after Elijah has just had this extravagant display of the power of God, when all the prophets of Baal are killed because they're challenging the one true God. And after Elijah sees this powerful miracle, he's also had this moment of extravagant faith where he's prayed for rain. It hasn't rained in years. And he just keeps praying and praying and praying until finally he sees this little cloud coming, and his servant says, Elijah, it's the size of a man's hand. And Elijah's like, oh, that's it. That's all I needed to know. And he's just had this beautiful, extravagant displays of faith in God's power and might. And he gets one word from a wicked queen named Jezebel that says, I'm going to kill you. And she said that because all the prophets of Baal that had just died were her servants and her false prophets. So she was a little angry. And it's so interesting, this mighty man of God runs into, I think it says the desert. I think he goes into the desert. And, the desert. And prays to die. What? He's just watched all the prophets of Baal destroyed. He has just seen a miracle where rain is coming. He's prayed the rain cloud in. And he gets one word from a crazy woman that she's going to kill him after he's seen all this that God's going to do. And he begs God to let him die. Do you know what I find so interesting that God does? I think I love it so much because it speaks to God's understanding of the human limitations and conditions. And he sends an angel to Elijah there in the desert, and he feeds him natural food, and he tells him to get a long nap, and then he does it all over again. So basically what Elijah needed was just some rest, some good old-fashioned physical body rest, and some good nutrition. I can only imagine if it came from an angel, it's very nutritious. So that's my word to some of y'all. You don't give yourself permission to take a nap. You don't give yourself permission to actually sit down and have a meal and not be rushed, or stand at the bar and cram it in your mouth while you're doing something else. You know, it doesn't have to be spiritual to be holy. Sometimes your body just needs to be as peaceful as these waters behind me. And it just needs to be replenished. So that's my word. You may need a nap. If you've had a season of exceptional pouring out, or if you find you want to cry a lot because you're extended, you may just need a little nap and a really good meal. Because remember, it doesn't have to be spiritual to be holy. But do you know what was so powerful about that food? That scripture says he went in the power of that food for 40 days and 40 nights. So it was a holy nap and a holy meal. You need to give yourself permission to pay attention to what your natural body needs. Sometimes it just needs some quiet waters, an afternoon nap, or a good meal around the dinner table. That's all I got on this Monday morning.